Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Here we are, 3 o'clock on Tuesday again, UK time. And time for some more thoughts. And first off, thank you to all of those of you who got in touch on LinkedIn, which announced that apparently it's been 11 years I've been on HCB. In fact, I think it's 11 years since I acquired HCB from Informer. When I changed my LinkedIn profile. And that's the anniversary. It's not half the story, actually, because I'd already been at the magazine for 16 years by then. And by September this year, it'll be 27 years. So there you are. It's been fun. Time flies when you're having fun, after all. You can't rely on technology. I think that's one of the things it tells you. You've got to have the context. And speaking of which, I thought today I would talk a little bit about online training and rethinking online training. Thank you, Govin, for getting in touch. And I hope these thoughts will be food for your brain as well. Because, of course, during the lockdown with travel restrictions and social distancing and so on, it's impossible, basically, to have classroom training or even to bring an in-house trainer in. And a number of regulatory bodies and enforcement agencies have allowed extra time for recurrent training in particular. So that if your recurrent training ran out in April, say, then you probably got till whenever, October, depends who it is, but check with that. Initial training is more of a problem, of course, because if you're taking people on, as many people in the logistics field are, because the logistics chain has been turned upside down, so we need more people. But bringing those on board is a harder task. How you're doing it, I don't know. But as any safety professional will tell you, the three most important things in ensuring safety in the dangerous goods supply chain are training, training, and training, which leaves online training. And personally, I've never been a big fan of online training. I think it has a role in recurrent training, certainly, because you're dealing with a set of trainees who are already engaged. They've already got intelligence on the topic. And it is what's good, I think, in certain sort of specific aspects. I did sit through an early version of the ITCO e-learning course on tank containers. And that, I felt, gave me a lot of knowledge that I didn't have before. The problem with online training, of course, is how do you know that the trainee is taking it in or even taking, conscious part in the process? It's quite easy, and I'm sure we've all done it, to be looking at something over here on your screen while you've got emails or solitaire game or whatever going on the other side. So without somebody looking over the trainee's shoulder, how can you be sure that the trainee isn't just gaming the system and going through the process and, ka-ching, gets a certificate at the end of it? That is a problem. And also, speaking to more experienced trainers, they will say, how can you possibly ensure that you're getting the message across effectively if you can't see the whites of their eyes? You've got to know that the trainees, the students, are actually taking in the information that you're giving them. And if they don't understand, they need to be able to talk to you, ask you questions. Traditional online training has, I think, never been able to deliver that sort of thing successfully, which, as far as I'm concerned, makes it a no-no in terms of certainly in initial training. Last week, though, I had a very interesting chat with Paul Horner, who some of you may know from his days at IATA, who, along with two business partners, has established a new company, Dangerous Goods Online Training. Let me tell you, I don't want to turn this into an advertisement for them, but it's interesting to me to look at what they're doing in the area of online training, and leveraging some new technologies to do that. And so what they're doing is, I mean, it's still a modular recorded course, but the course contents can be and are tweaked according to the students' particular needs. Students also have the ability to call in or email in for further information, or to get more detail on the things they're not understanding. And also, this I think is the clever point, the organisation monitors students as they go through the modules, and so they can pick up where students are having problems, and get back to them proactively. And also they are insistent that students should get a pass mark of 80% on each module as they go through it, and have an overall 80% pass mark before going on to the examination. And this is all Dangerous Goods by Air training. That's what Paul's experienced in, and that's what they're doing. It would be interesting, I think, if this sort of concept, I don't know what their patent is on it, but it could be extended into other areas. The very clever thing, I think, and noticing that the Civil Aviation Authority in the UK, for instance, had already allowed online training, and other agencies have done the same thing during the pandemic, is to get online examinations with live proctoring, or we would call it in the UK, so that exam papers can be delivered securely. The back office can observe the trainee going through the examination, and the papers are returned securely. Again, I think that's very clever. And the Civil Aviation Authority in the UK has observed this process and given it its thumbs up. I should be writing more about this in the July issue of HCB, which should be published online anyway next week. So look out for that. But I do think this is an interesting model, because there are lots of benefits to online training, not least the fact that it's a lot cheaper if you don't have to send your employees out, put them up in a hotel, feed them for 3 days while they're doing the course somewhere at an airport away from home. And also, I think it puts other providers of online training on notice, you know, that if you're not able to do it to these sorts of standards, then, you know, should you really be in the job of doing it at all? I know it's quite attractive for providers. You know, you make a course, put it out on the internet, and sit back and watch the money coming in. But I think, given the high hazard nature of a lot of what we in the logistics supply chain, the dangerous goods supply chain, do, it's important that there is some higher level of quality control. And I think this project sets a mark quite high. Anyway, I'll be interested to see what you all think of it, and do let me know if you've got observations, comments, complaints, or whatever. I look forward to talking to you next week, when I think I will go back to the idea of having been here for 27 years, because it is also HCB's 40th anniversary this year. So stop by for that. Be good to see you. I'm not seeing very many people at the moment. Meanwhile, stay safe. Take care, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.